Welcome to All the Things Podcast, presented by Euphonic Creations. I am your host, Patrick W. Dockett, aka Mandax the Poet. We're going to have some fun today. Got a lot of things to get into. So, without further ado, let's get it. Welcome to the All the Things Podcast. Finally, guys, as promised, we are here now. This is our inaugural podcast. That's number one, guys. It's number one out of however many thousands that we are going to be blessed enough to do. But today is literally the very first one. There's been a lot going into this, a lot of work behind the scenes. So just want to give a shout out to the entire production team already for just working their butts off. Everybody's been working like we do this for a really big production or something right now. We're a small production, but slowly but surely we got work going on the musical side as well as the programming side. We're slowly going to be climbing up that ladder, guys. Stay tuned. I want you to come along this journey with us, okay? And the first thing we're going to do is just tell you a little bit about us before we even get into a lot of what we're going to talk about on this inaugural podcast. Let's tell you a little bit about the actual company. At the beginning of each pod or any type of promos you've seen on my social medias, we start off with Euphonic Creations presents. Euphonic Creations. Now that's the actual company that's behind us. We all here are contractually attached to Euphonic Creations with our own intellectual properties, of course. It wasn't by chance. I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe in chance. I believe in everything happening for a reason. I say I don't believe in chance, so but for lack of a better term, by chance met the CEO and one of the head producers for Euphonic Creations, Warren Reed, aka the regulator around here. Okay, we like to call him Warren G sometimes, but he's the CEO of Euphonic Creations. This guy's been in music all of his life. I mean, before building some studios from the ground up like he did, he was like 3 or 4 years old when he started singing on stage. This guy, music runs through his veins. He started a ministry called A Lot Ministries. That's an acronym. A.L.O.T Ministries, A Lot Ministries. They used to travel to different churches in the state, generally helping a lot of churches, old school churches, older churches, transition from hymnals to contemporary music and stuff. You know how things have gotten in the churches now. But he was like one of the pioneers, or one of his companies was a pioneer of that, going throughout the South and the Midwest. A lot of things. We'll eventually put him on camera. We're gonna introduce you, not today, but we'll introduce you to Warren the Regulator. And, he has a great story, so we'll be telling that. But after meeting him, we discussed some things. I think I was working sound for a live event or something like that, and and we just ran up on each other and started talking. And we decided to go out to lunch or have a dinner, a business meeting, which is what I know it is by now, because that's what he, at the end of the meeting, he was like, no, I'm putting this on my card as a business expense. So I was basically like, oh, cool. I didn't know that's what this was. But yeah, we had a business meeting, did a handshake deal. I like him. He's real old school that way. It's like, back in the day when men can shake hands. And actually, we did sign a contract later, but just in general, meeting him, that's how we just talked about, discussed vision, different intellectual properties we both were part of, and then a handshake deal. This is what I want from you here at this company, if you're willing to do it. I'll jump at the opportunity. Me personally, I've been in media for most of my life. Past, let's see. A little bit about me. My first love is writing. I got published when I was 16, just one poem, nothing much. But after getting a royalty and getting a book in the mail and just knowing that there's something that long after I'm gone, basically, it's still going to be here, something that tangible that anybody that knows you or knows of you or stumbles across you can just go and delve into your art, delve into your portfolio, and maybe there's something that you write or create that touches them, similar to how Langston Hughes, my favorite writer of all time, poet, playwright, and guy's a genius, man. Same thing his poem did for me. I was about 14 reading about the Harlem Renaissance and what went on around the movement throughout New York and all the way to Paris in the 1920s, and just the just golden age of Black explosion of art, and reading some of the poetry and stuff. And I was just a young kid at the time, but those type of things got to me. So I knew what I wanted to do at a young age, and I didn't know that one poem would turn into a 7-year contract where I had 3 books that were put out. In between that, I kind of nomadically hitchhiked into the music industry myself, working with the likes of Marlon Jackson from the Jackson 5, being my manager because his son was in our band. We have some products or projects floating out there in the ether somewhere, obviously, which proud of some of it. Obviously, when you're young, your music is always a little bit different than who you are, or who you grow into be, like who I am now, as a matter of fact. But from there, I also got involved with another independent band. It was more of a fusion of different genres. Lynn Copeland from the band Big Mountain, she was the bassist for them. Jason Ketchum, who's a punk rocker, guitarist. Chris Towns, who's a dope drummer, and from an acoustic band, and myself, that's writer, poet, I guess you can say, rapper, hip hop artist. Back in the day, like, we put those 4 sounds together to create a project, which is pretty dope. It's musically, it's the best thing I've been involved with. Outside of my own personal things I did like that, I also worked for Mandate Records in San Diego, California. CEO Leonard Thompson Jr. They're doing really big things right now in the contemporary gospel industry. They also have a radio station now. I mean, they've grown a lot since I worked for him. I worked for him for about 10 years, and great job. Best job I ever had. Had my own article online, and I started working for the newspaper for them, writing articles for the arts and entertainment section. Yeah, I've written on so many different platforms. Writing's not a sexy job. It's a grunt job. You have to love it. And I've always loved the written word, in so many different forms. So I'm mostly involved with everything I'm involved with simply because I'm just in the right place at the right time, I suppose. But yeah, that's just a little bit about our CEO here and Euphonic Creations, myself, your host, Patrick W. Dockett, aka Mindex the Poet. There's a meaning behind that name, Mindex, as well. We'll get into that at a later date. I know a lot of people like to look up old Greek words and different things, but yeah, I have a real heavy meaning behind the Mindex name, which is what my handle was when I was a musician way back in the day, and also spoken word poet on stage. So I really do enjoy uh, um, writing and art in any form. So, and right now, I guess you can say I'm still on the platform because I'm writing scripts and creating programming over here and doing things for the podcast. Even on the music side, working with our one of our other head producers that you'll see on the page when you go to euphonicreations.com. Mr. Music is what we call him. Dope producer. Dopest producer I've met since I've been back down here in the South. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can check out on the music leg as well. We got a lot going on, guys. And we do inter work as well. I might be doing the podcasting thing, but I help over there with Mr. Music and some of the production, whatever they need. And he also helps me, and we have a few people. We'll introduce the interns and people that we have field producers as well. Definitely want to give a shout out to Sean Adams, who helped me on a few segments. A segment that you will see on this show coming up in a little bit. Dockett, great musician in his own right. Big things are be coming for him in the future as well. So, and he works with all our guys here. We're just one big old family. Here at Euphonic Creations, getting everything together. Just stay tuned, guys. It's going to be pretty awesome. We do have some sponsorship. We have a sponsor for this actual program as well. It's been blessed since the moment we started. So we're very thankful for that. We're going to take a break here and let our sponsors talk to you for a second. All right, one moment. For almost the past 30 years, Nutrimart has been one of the leading vitamin, supplement, health brands and a pillar in the San Diego community. Now boasting 8 stores in San Diego, this family-owned brand has a full-service online store for those of us in this part of the country, and they cater to all athletes, CrossFitters, health nuts, Yo Mama, Bo Jackson, Frodo and his Hobbits, Han Swallow, Darth Sith Pack, coaches, and a plethora of so many different sports enthusiasts across the country. And like those that order this product from coast to coast, you too can use Nutrimart for all your health needs. Find all the best national brands in vitamins, meal replacements, testosterone, libido enhancers, greens, herbs, protein bars, fat loss aids, muscle builders, and more. And order today from NutrimartUSA.com. That's NutrimartUSA.com. We'll put the address on the screen below, and you can start your order today. Don't miss out now. Go to NutrimartUSA.com, check out their vast array of products, and order today. And get your swole on, people. Now back to the show. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Back from our small break. Thank our sponsors for that word they gave. I want to jump right into something that's been bothering me that I've noticed since I've been back here. Now, mind you, I've lived in a big city for about 23, 24 years. Coming back down here to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, transitioning from the West Coast, it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy in the smallest ways. I mean, how you grow up and where you grow up will shape, form who you are. It shapes and forms who you become culturally. We don't even know things about ourselves that we learn. All you have to do is put yourself into a new environment that you haven't been in. And I can tell you, like, the fast pace of San Diego, the go lifestyle that I was used to, I mean, that all came to a screeching halt getting down here. Even when you are busy down here, for me personally, it still seems like it's a couple paces behind. But that's just me and the lifestyle. Becoming a man on the West Coast, it was just a different environment. It's such a culture shock, whether you're coming from here and going there or, vice versa. But down here, one of the things as big and as bustling as that city is, and that state, and that whole coast even, and I know there are a lot of bad things going on out there. I do. I know. I mean, like, I'm sure that as small as this place is, crime-wise, we don't touch even one, piece of a city in San Diego. I mean, like, when you're coming into Pine Bluff, Arkansas, it says population somewhere around 40 or 50, I forgot, somewhere around 44,000 or something like that. I mean, you have that many people in Chula Vista alone, or National City, or just pick any little county in San Diego. It's a huge, but you just have so much going on there that you don't recognize these small things. I'm going to talk about something that's really near and dear to me, and something that I've noticed. I do a lot of my mom's electronic stuff. Shout out to Mom. There's so much scamming going on here in this city, and I'm not just talking about like people coming up to you trying to hustle you. I'm talking about a well-oiled machine, organized, and they're calling or infiltrating computers. They're scammers. And the reason why I've been noticing this a lot is because I've had to, get protections on even my mom's phone, and some, and I know some older people here that I think that this area the Midwest and the South is targeted because it doesn't have an infrastructure, say like a big city. I think that the reason you don't recognize these things in bigger cities is because they have structure, they have law enforcement structured in place, cyber crimes, all that stuff, to where you feel a little bit protected. Here, it's like it just bombards you for in all night all areas of personal social medias and websites and anything digital, internet. Your phones are not safe. I just had to remove some type of phishing virus scam off her phone the other day. It's like every single day there's something that is happening on that front. I personally pride myself on being able to kind of like catch it, sidestep it, or whatever. That's generally how I am. But I want to talk to you about this epidemic. I got to tell you, I'm gonna share some personal information with you. It doesn't sound like this is a particularly compelling subject, but I can assure you that if anybody has been the victim of scamming, they'll tell you how violated that they feel after being scammed. So I got a little bit of that feeling not too long ago. And I was like, on any other day, I'd be fortified for it. They can't catch me. Like, computer viruses, spam calls, all that stuff. I mean, like, I'm protected against all that stuff, and they generally can't catch me. But this one particular day, I let them catch me. I don't know what happened or how it happened. It just ended up being something that something, it was the wrong place, wrong time for me, but they got me good. Now they only scammed me out of it a little bit. I'm not gonna say it's a drop in the bucket. $100 worth of Bitcoin or something. It's not much. But what I was really upset about is they scammed me out of about 2 hours of my time. So I can't say much about it, but I'll tell you just a little bit. And I just think that this whole epidemic of scamming needs a more journalistic, truth-telling light shined upon it. I mean, like, honestly, there need to be more protections in place for people that may be, especially the older people. That's why they're here in this area. They might be a little bit behind the curve, whatever, in terms of technology, technologically speaking. I mean, like, and you go to the coast or whatever, most people are a little bit more computer savvy, if you will, just because of just when the new iPhone comes out or the new this comes out, it's automatically there. Sometimes in this area, unless you go to some of the big metropolitan areas like Little Rock or Hot Springs or wherever else in Arkansas, you got to wait much for these things. Or you got to wait a little. I mean, the fashion changes quicker on the coast and maybe a year later or something, we catch up from here to the coast. I mean, they're always on the cusp, cutting edge. So I think that, the reason why certain scammers are really plentiful down here is just because we don't have the infrastructure in place to protect we get our older people and our people wherever they are. We get them into technology. We get the new computers. We get the smart TVs and all that stuff, and we don't really teach them about security, internet security. Things that you can do to combat against that. And next thing you know, they just have a some type of virus or something that you have to clean up and restore computer back to factory. So it's a hassle when you do all that stuff. But I'm just not sure that the infrastructure is there here in the Midwest and South. Maybe it's just where older people reside. Maybe it's more than just the South. I'm only speaking of my experiences here and where I'm from, and mostly I've been around computers. I work with computers. I'm basically a sit behind a desk and type guy, and that's what I've been doing for most of my life for one faction or another. But I do pay attention, and the older people seem to be targeted more than any age group. If that's not the case, why does it seem safer there on the coast? Why do I feel safer in the most open more liberal part of the country, a place where hedonism and selfishness are part of the very culture in that part of the country. It's like this area is just ripe for the picking, and all the scammers are sowing and reaping in this area with almost no pushback. It could be very well that there are just fewer law enforcement protectors for these particular crimes. I think I mentioned earlier. It might just be that there are fewer unknowing victims that know how to ask for help when these things happen. All of the enforcers of these things online, these online or phone reprobates, fewer and further in between here and in the region. Why does it seem easier to scam in this region? Or why does it seem like there's just less help here? These are questions I've been asking myself. So, but if you have any thoughts on it, then I want you to DM me, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Facebook. We'll definitely add that to the end of this program in terms of some of your thoughts or experiences with scamming. You can tell us what happened, where you got scammed, how you got scammed, how they got over on you. I mean, whatever the particulars were, because there are a million different ways that your information, your anything can get stolen. So just got to be careful. But my personal experience, for all my protection and preventative measures over certain loved ones from the throes of this nefarious issue, I completely feel unsafe from these unrelenting and malicious attacks from certain factions of an uncaring, cold-hearted, anonymous mass that sit behind computer screens or phone receivers, preying on the unsuspected, or those that can have their guards up like myself normally and successfully combat the issue. But it's just a barrage of sniffing out and stopping scammers in their tracks. I'm pretty good at that. But the one that got through me, the one that when I let my guard down, they got me good. I will not lie. I knew it from the beginning, right when I picked up the phone. But it was just one of those things that I had my guard down. I just let it, I just slid it back. Like, no, it's not. It's this time of night. No, it's not gonna happen. But they were very convincing. But my spidey senses were tingling. Okay, my spidey senses were going off like right when I picked up the phone. I just ignored it. Never ignore your just don't ignore your when you feel something in your gut. You don't have to act. You can err on the side of caution, be patient a little bit. But when you get that feeling, you just got to follow it sometimes. But the shame that I felt from getting taken down in that battle, even though it was a small thing, it hurts me to my soul. Like, honestly, I felt like I came in contact with pure evil at that moment, and it shook me up for a bit. Like, I won't lie. Like, I'm a pretty stoic dude. I mean, I have a resting stone face. I've been told if I'm not smiling or whatever, but rarely any emotion as you can read in public, except for maybe disdain, apathy, or anger. God forgive me on that last one. It's like that scene in Avengers, when Iron Man goes all out on Thanos with a few amazing moves and that nanotech armor, and he uses all of his power and intellect and those fantastical abilities, and only draws one drop of blood, just one. A whole 40, 50-second barrage of movements, and he draws one little speck of blood. That's how I feel now. It's like I can honestly say that I caught and turned away a lot of scammers from the open source hotspots here, but as well as home phones and cell phones. But that drop of blood from my face, hence the violation, is such a horrendous feeling. Like, I can't help but brood about it. And yes, I am aware that I just compare myself to a victim to Thanos in comparison to a certain scammer who I just compare to Iron Man. But, scammers are not heroes, obviously. Obviously, they're villains, But I just feel like that. I feel like when Thanos all that barrage just came at him, and then for me, when it hit me, is that one drop of blood. They drew something from me. It could have been much worse, by the way. It could have. They were so convincing. I mean, scammers could be actors. As a matter of fact, some of them probably are, or headed towards a good acting career, because they just slide you into conversation so calmly, so professionally. And it's you get the visceral nature of what I'm speaking of anyway. It just elicits so much anger and rage within me. I mean, too much. But I have to be careful when I share because I do believe I have an in on how to counterattack the scammers. So I have to be careful on what I say at the moment. Here's what I will say though. The scammer did fool me. Took about 2 hours of my time, masqueraded as a boss from an old job. I'm dropping names. He was dropping names from the old general manager directly before me. And I was just like listening to him and listening to him. Before I could just truly shut him down, he got a tiny amount of Bitcoin from me. Okay. Yeah. I mean, not even listen, from what he was asking and trying to make me feel like, we were, 6 degrees of separation from an old GM, an old manager that we knew each other. And then when he started asking for stuff, he could have very well cleaned me out for whatever it is that I had in that little account. But Bitcoin account, we're just talking about cryptocurrency here. But yeah, I mean, when he got me for that, and right when I shut him down, I felt instant rage. I'm like, this is a guy that I would, well, I won't use the language like that, what I think, but this violation, every time I think about it, even right now, I'm thinking about it, and it comes up like it just happened. It sickens me, literally. It makes me sick to my stomach when it happened and right now. But that's all I'll say about that moment because, I could seriously go on a tangent if I haven't already and throw away better and lighter subject. I can spend the whole show talking about this, but here at all the things, we will move on to all the things. But yeah, get your stories in. Keep them to a few sentences or a small paragraph. Give me the who, what, where, even if you don't know the why. I'll tell your story here and possibly contact you for some follow-up. That's Patrick W. Dockett on Facebook and Mendax the Poet on IG. Get those stories in. But also on the subject, also one more thing on this subject before I move on. Does this country outsource all of the tech jobs to India? That's, like, so many of them when they call are, Indian or from India, not Indian. And I know it's just a small select few of apples or bad apples, and they work day and night to spearhead this epidemic because every voice that I've encountered, it's been triple digits. Every time somebody calls you and they're scamming, they sound Eastern Indian. I don't know what it is about that. I never get somebody with this vernacular, with American diction, that calls to try to scam. I know they're out there, but why? And listen, I know that sounds a bit racist. Excuse me. We all have stereotypes, sort of like all brown people being blamed and accosted for the ignorant gangster groups that terrorize public, or the Caucasian Karens using police as a weapon unjustly to get their way. We all have our impositions, our nuances that are prescribed to our own group. So it's all encompassing. I wasn't calling out one without calling out or acknowledging the others in the public square, because here we can talk about it. All the people, all the issues, all of the things. I digress. That's a conversation for another time, I guess. I have to move on because my blood just boils when it comes to any injustice. It sucks. It truly sucks. I'm a justice freak, but anyway, I digress on that. We are going to go ahead and take another break, and then we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. For almost the past 30 years, Nutrimart has been one of the leading vitamin, supplement, health brands and a pillar in the San Diego community. Now boasting 8 stores in San Diego, this family-owned brand has a full-service online store for those of us in this part of the country, and they cater to all athletes, CrossFitters, health nuts, Yo Mama, Bo Jackson, Frodo and his Hobbits, Han Swallow, Darth Sith Pack, coaches, and a plethora of so many different sports enthusiasts across the country. And like those that order this product from coast to coast, you too can use Nutrimart for all your health needs. Find all the best national brands in vitamins, meal replacements, testosterone, libido enhancers, greens, herbs, protein bars, fat loss aids, muscle builders, and more. And order today from NutrimartUSA.com. That's NutrimartUSA.com. We'll put the address on the screen below, and you can start your order today. Don't miss out now. Go to NutrimartUSA.com, check out their vast array of products, and order today. And get your swole on, people. Now back to the show. Welcome back, ladies and gents, germs. I don't know what I was going to say there. Welcome back to All the Things podcast presented by Euphonic Creations. Thank you guys for joining us, staying here with us. What's next? What's new? Well, politics is politicking. We have a little while till November, so I'm going to pace myself on this subject. Trust me. Believe me, something may come up soon, and I will be. Well, I used to be, especially in college before I switched my major, I was a budding political scientist wannabe, once upon a time. And I wised up though, and I turned to the arts because now, politics. Okay. Anyway, but it's broken system doesn't work anymore. I've kind of always stayed in the know, wordplay. That is until the system got too fat and ripped at the center of its red and blue political pants legs. But nonetheless, it's entertaining and at the least completely sad, our political state. This is going to be a good season to get into a wonderful idealistic political show. So our political system, when I say it's broken, that doesn't mean that I'm anti-government in any way. Just want to make that clear. I'm just here to call a spade a spade. So if something doesn't work or if something is broken, and it shouldn't be, we should be able to call that out. Am I right? Shouldn't we be able to say, hey, this is how this is supposed to work, but it doesn't work like this. Okay. We 100%, any reasonably intelligent adult from 18 and over can see this. And unless you just don't know or you're ignorant to geopolitical issues or whatever, maybe, you can just get fooled a little bit. But, we see when something's not working. We see when they have to literally, and the most popular thing on TV now is the news. And they have a news for each ideology. I mean, you're back in the day when journalism was the fourth estate, and you just had the three big, what do you call them? ABC, NBC, CBS networks. You had just the three big networks, and they all had a trusted political commentator. I mean, do you remember Cronkite? It's like nowadays you turn on CNN to get the liberal side, which they market as truth. You turn to Fox to get the conservative side, in which they market as truth. They're all skewered. MSNBC, yeah, whatever. But MSNBC used to be, that's the last, before I stopped watching news on a global scale, except for some online reputable sites. MSNBC was the one that I watched. They weren't fear mongering like Fox, but they weren't completely liberal and looked at news as entertainment, such as CNN. They were the last vestige. What was the last Tom Brokaw? What was the last guy? Brian Williams, the anchor, Brian Williams. Oh, also Lawrence. Forgot his name right now. Skip it. It'll come to me. But they had the last real news anchor. So when politics came around, you could listen to a Tom Brokaw or something like that to listen for the truth. They will tell you the truth, you know. I remember a story about the JFK assassination when I believe Tom Brokaw was one of the other ones. He was a field reporter at the time before he was an anchor, and um, Cronkite was the anchor at the time, and Brokaw was on assignment. I believe that is him. If I'll come correct myself if I'm wrong, but they had to get two, count it. They had to get two eyewitnesses at the hospital and around JFK's assassination before they would even report it. And there's a real a true behind the scenes story on them on that time. You got to watch some of the documentaries or whatever on JFK, but it was taught when or news is concerned. But nowadays, all you have to do is think it, and you're going to say it. You know, there's no whatever, there's no facts. But this is the political. This is going to be a really good season to get into this wonderful, idealistic political show called The West Wing. So you see, for all my complaining and all that, I want to go into the bright side of it. But once upon a time, our judicial, legislative, and executive branches of government were run by the best and the brightest, not just the most popular, the bullheaded. You know, nowadays we're all about gotcha moments. Somebody creates a viral moment on TikTok like Trump did with so many of those. When he was running, he was just bullish with it, you know. But popular people, I mean, like I'm talking about the best and the brightest, though. I mean, like we're talking about the Ivy League, Rhodes Scholar, you know, in the know about other. Like I'm talking about like real smart people, not just popular people, not just successful people. You know, first off, a sign that our government isn't broken would be just if Joe Schmo, the popular alderman, in your town or your city or in your capital could work his way up and run for politics. Nowadays, you need at least $50 million just to go on a political run, and you're gonna run out of money. You know, that's the beginning sign that the whole thing is broken. But you know, I mean, when our government was run by the best and the brightest, for better or for worse, they really cared about their constituents so much that principles and high-minded discourse between political parties and candidates ruled the public square. I mean, when you turned on to see debates, you got high-minded discourse. You learned something. You weren't just entertained. I guess that's when adults were real adults back then too, as well. I mean, young people didn't really like that. I did, but I was a weirdo. So, I mean, if you happen to be an idealist or just a person that loves democracy, or in our case, a democratic republic, by the way, then this show, The West Wing, will be for you. You know why? Because it romanticizes politics, or at least what politics and political offices should be. Even what voters should be. It romanticizes the best versions of our politicians, of our ideals, of ourselves. You know, it's an interesting world to dive into, and it romanticizes this mundane, this mundane ideal of government, but it makes it so interesting. It's easy to get caught up with great writing. But there's such nobility behind what the system should and could be that when and it's written by Sorkin, by the way, Aaron Sorkin. Every single thing he touches is gold. We'll talk about him a little bit, but he's the best episodic writer. The production is second to none. It's when they used to spend millions of dollars on a show's production without giving all the money away to the actors. And, you know, because if the acting messes up, then you don't really like the show. But this world they created, the whole production value, and I mean, the actors are second to none. They're all thespians, by the way. And the directors, Tommy Schlamme. I mean, like these guys, like if you're into film production like I am and different things, like it was the best it was an all-star line. It was a 96 Bulls, basically. Let's put it in layman's terms, okay? It's the 96 Bulls. it's Brady and company and the Patriots in their heyday. I mean, like it was every single position was played by some of the best there is out there. I mean, it was so much so that after the first season or whatever, I mean, like all the big stars wanted to start showing up and guest starring on the show, and they did. Anybody, the who's who of movie stars right now, made cameos on the show. Not like the Law and Order sense where everybody gets an acting part. It doesn't have to be good. No, no, no. You had to be good first off. So if you were a great actor or a good actor back in the day, yeah, you probably were in the West Wing a little bit. Everybody from Laura Dern to Matt Perry back in his heyday. I mean, like John Goodman. Um, um, ooh, what's the guy's name? John Amos plays a great part, and I mean, like everything is just so great. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's a show with such gravitas and it tells such truth in its fictional sense, so which is a paradox in itself. One can't help but love what government should be. Now, if you watch this show, I warn you, you are going to be so disillusioned with our version of what our real government is. You're going to just only wish and long for President Bartlett. Okay, that's who Martin Sheen played. He's the president in the show. It's not all kumbaya or anything, because it does touch on the dark side of politics in a way. It does touch on the pettiness and disregard for certain groups of people. But when the show is finding its footing, even, but it before it found its footing, it could be hokey, a little boys clubbish, to the point of wincing. But that's the writing for the times, I mean, honestly, it reflects the times more. But at its finest, and I will put this out there for anybody. At its finest, second, third, fourth season, there has never been a better show on television. Fight me, I said it, but I'm serious. I mean, like, okay, if you focus on the arts that way, and we're talking about production, we're talking about writing, we're talking about acting, we're talking about script. Everything starts with the script for me. I mean, I'm an easy target there. I'm a writer, so I care about the writing. I mean, you might go to Warren, who's music guy. He'll care about the score. Great score. The music on it. I mean, they have everybody from Yo-Yo Ma to your favorite jazz musician. Even a little bit of hip hop made its way into the West Wing. Rocky Carroll was on. We all know who that is. He's the head guy on NCIS right now, but he played a really good guest spot. He played a Chris Rock like character. So that was a really poignant episode, and you're gonna enjoy watching this, because at its finest, there was not a better show on TV. I'm telling, bar none, punch for punch, pound for pound. You debate with me, and I look forward to the debate, because number one, I know this show up and down, and I also know the writing up and down, and I've seen the series. I have to watch the series at least once a year. I watch this. I'm in the midst of watching it now on Max, like on HBO Max. It's my favorite show of all time. Okay, and it's only coming from my point of view, because you have to be more into cerebral entertainment than exciting or action entertainment to appreciate this show, as well as a few others. But that followed suit. But somewhere down the line, we just became this gritty, more visceral, crime-loving, zombie-needing, mobster-worshipping, blood and guts-needing, psychopathic, nihilistic masochist masquerading as viewers. That's what we are now. We need the jump scares and the exciting action scenes, in the hospitals or on the block or in the countryside, because it's what you need when the writing's bad. Okay. That's an epidemic. Let's talk about scamming more, but that's an epidemic. Bad writing on screen. But once upon a time, yeah, we love subtleties and gradations of dialogue and language that smashed into our minds with passion and zeal, that the intellect alone brought up goosebumps. and stimulation to the point that sparked us to be better, not more adrenaline driven or action packed or violent, or sometimes entertainment used to fill us with desire to be the best that we can be on a human level, not some heroic, unattainable one. We do miss those days, and I guess that is why I'm truly looking forward to the political season, not for the politics on its face, but for the opportunity to take some folks and have our hearts filled with something other than pessimism for the broken political system that can only make us cringe with lies and stupidity from the left, only matched solely by saying things on the right. There are no more good guys, really. I mean, at the highest level, really. I mean, they're popular opportunists. But this is the beginning of the political season. It's good that this podcast is starting during an election year, because we're going to touch on this frequently and often, trust and believe, okay? But we'll be able to discuss Aaron Sorkin and his political masterpiece sometime in the near future. And I believe at least the first 4 seasons of it, because that's when Sorkin stopped writing for the show that he created. And the last few seasons kind of hit and miss before shutting it down for murkier and more violent waters that subsequently permeated our hearts and minds like a shot of moonshine rather than a fine glass of wine. That's political satire for you anyway. But anyway, I digress. It's going to be, I have to pace myself because there are going to be entire political, in the first 4 seasons, by the way, the reason Aaron Sorkin, I believe, stopped writing, I mean, not only was there some contract things and some things going on with Rob Lowe and all that behind the scenes, but this was back in the day where he had to write a script a week. Every single week, he had to write that. It was an hour show. He had to write that 120-page script every single week. Talk about I've been on deadlines before with chapters of books when I was writing, when I had a publishing company. I had deadlines, but not anything like that. And dude was just burnt out. So, he just walked away. But anyway, I digress. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back in a minute. And we are going to talk about one of my favorite segments on the show. All right. See you soon. For almost the past 30 years, Nutrimart has been one of the leading vitamin, supplement, health brands and a pillar in the San Diego community. Now boasting 8 stores in San Diego, this family-owned brand has a full-service online store for those of us in this part of the country, and they cater to all athletes, CrossFitters, health nuts, Yo Mama, Bo Jackson, Frodo and his Hobbits, Han Swallow, Darth Sith-Pack coaches, and a plethora of so many different sports enthusiasts across the country. And like those that order this product from coast to coast, you too can use Nutrimart for all your health needs. Find all the best national brands in vitamins, meal replacements, testosterone, libido enhancers, greens, herbs, protein bars, fat loss aids, muscle builders, and more. And order today from NutrimartUSA.com. That's NutrimartUSA.com. We'll put the address on the screen below, and you can start your order today. Don't miss out now. Go to NutrimartUSA.com, check out their vast array of products, and order today. And get your swole on, people. Now back to the show. Welcome back, peeps. What's the happenings? What's good with you? So let's see. I've been obsessed with a few things lately. But before we get into them, let me go into brackets. My favorite segment that I've kind of developed, and that's going to be pretty much a part of every show as well. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we already have an ongoing segment that will be here on All the Things, and it's called Brackets, in case you didn't get that. What's so dope about brackets is that we will encompass everything, like literally everything. It will start off and continue with entertainment lanes, but brackets will be for everything, really. I mean, from bracketing and debating the best TV shows, movies, soundtracks, musicians, sorry, vehicles, brands, days of the week. I mean, like everything can be bracketed. And in my belief system, and this is not with just things that are relative. When things are relative, then they're relative. But when any debate or conflict comes up, or when you are or when there's a versus something, we all have our opinions, but I believe in absolute truthism. Okay, so that means there is going to be an absolute true and an absolute untrue. And that's going to be what the debate's going to basically be about. Because if I tell you that The West Wing is the best TV show, I shouldn't just come from my point of view of what titillates my sensibilities, but I'm coming from hey, show me something with better production, with better writing, with better actors, with better scores. Let's go over the resumes, from these people or these particular things. So when you say, "No, man, Jay-Z's better than Nas," okay, so or let's bring that up to date a little bit more. J. Cole's better than Kendrick Lamar. What's the criteria there outside of just your own preference? I mean, what are we talking about musically, and how do we quantify that? Like, are we talking about bars? Are we talking about flow? Are we talking about musicianship? Are we talking about writing skill, writing style, freestyle? I mean, what are we talking about here? So you can quantify every single thing. That's why I'll put The West Wing up against any show, just off of sheer, excuse me, just intellect. I mean, like it's exciting in a way that's a book almost that a not. It's almost as exciting. It's exciting in the way a novel is if you love to read, versus watching a movie. Your imagination does everything for you when you read a book or a novel, and you get caught up into a page turn. Oh, it's such a page turn. You remember that phrase? It's like that's your mind. Reading someone else's words, but books are way more exciting than movies. So that's how a show like The West Wing would do, as opposed to like something like The Sopranos or Breaking Bad, which is great writing in its own regard, but it's more exciting. It breaks up the monotony of language by doing something, by exploding something. And The Sopranos, I watched this thing on The Sopranos on YouTube where it said, the tagline just said, everyone who got killed on Sopranos. And this is how many people they killed. It said every death on The Sopranos. It was over 2 hours of a video. I mean, in 7 seasons, or what, 8 seasons, they killed 2 hours worth of people. I mean, it's just weird. I get obsessed about certain things, but yeah, when we're talking about brackets, because I digress, I go off on tangents, but when we talk about brackets, basically, the kicker is basically just everything can be bracketed. We tested this out before and like I say, we've been behind the scenes working. I know we dropped a couple of promos a month ago, 2 months ago, and we tested this out with audiences, and it definitely had the most traction with some audience members and people listening right now. You know who you are. It definitely brought all the votes to the yard. You did. If you know, you know. Waka waka. Yeah, I'm weird. Deal with it. I will talk more about brackets, but I do want to introduce you to our Q&A section to the general populace. The best of the best from their point of view will be getting on our show. We'll be posting up their IGs or Facebooks or whatever they want to promote as they take part in this Q&A. It's so interesting to engage with people on the streets, and our website's DMs basically shows us that. I mean, we're getting awesome feedback from people, which is great. People are awesome. Yeah, you have the ability to be awesome. I mean, like, I can't be around people too much because people are a little too people-y for me, but generally, a lot of you are awesome out there. I can see things from Anakin's point of view as well as Obi-Wan's. And this Q&A is what happens um, when we go out and we just talk to the people. We bring up discuss. I mean, like the things that you're going to see on this. We'll talk about brackets a little bit later, but the thing you're going to see on our Q&A, by the way, who's run by our field producer, Sean Adams. Shout out to Sean Adams. I mean, great young man. Does a great job out there on the street talking to people. Very charismatic, articulate. If you just happen to be rolling your grocery cart into the store and Sean Adams from Euphonic Creations comes up to you, give him a few minutes of your time, because this segment, which has gotten so much traction with audiences or with people out in the street, is going to be one of those things that you find yourself arguing for things you really care about and putting the truth out there, letting your piece be heard, if you will. If you know, you know. Go to euphonications.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. But it's one of those things where until you know a person's heart or hear their voice, they could seem more uninteresting to you. But when you pose thoughtful and deliberate questions about everything, media, pop culture, just everything in between, you just get to find out how interesting people are. I mean, human interest stories are probably some of the only things you can watch on the news that's complete truth. I mean, it's compelling. Forget about watching the news for from a political standpoint or whatever, but human interest stories really, they touch you because a person is speaking their truth or speaking the truth. I don't believe in the whole their truth, your truth, not. There is the truth, and people are speaking from their point of view, but human interest. And that's why, and I developed this segment because I'm interested in the people of my hometown. I mean, I've been gone for 20 some odd years and might be gone again later. Like, I don't know how much Pine Bluff I can take. I mean, I'm interested to getting to know the people. We have a historically Black university here. We have about 1 million churches. Thank God for that. We need all of them. The ones that are telling the truth anyway. We have a casino, for goodness sakes. Now we had a mall, but no casino when I left. Now we have a casino here, but no mall. And by the way, there's some nefarious things going on at that mall. I was out there not too long ago, and I was visiting with somebody, and I saw a guy get dropped off into what used to be the Dillards over there, or no, what used to be Sears over there. Saw the guy, saw the SUV, saw everything, and literally later on that day, the place was on fire. There were 8 fire trucks out there, and I'm like, this. Set the freaking mall on fire. Like, really? I mean, there is one store that's still open out there, which is Dillard's, I believe. But everything else is closed. We don't even have a movie theater in Pine Bluff. But I mean, we have so many different people, so many walks of life. When I left back in 2001 or 2000, whenever that was, there were only basically Black and white people here. Black racist people, white racist people. No, I'm kidding. Just now we have Middle Eastern and Spanish, and I mean, like, I grew up going to Watson Chapel in the Watson Chapel district till I was 18, and I never met, or actually, I lived in a couple of other states too, but the 16 years I spent here in Pine Bluff, I had never met in my youth at that point in time any other persuasion of person. I mean, that's how closed off and small and southern this state is. But I mean, there are all walks of life here now. It's bustling. It's great. Hey, we have a Chick-fil-A here now. We don't have In-N-Out, so I don't really care. No, I love Chick-fil-A. Love In-N-Out. But yeah, we have different people, like casino people, like that's running casinos, and the crowds you get out there. I mean, like, our community is ripe for different types of people to talk to in different places. So the segment that is going to be, brackets is going to be basically the intro to it, but the segment is going to be great because it's all of your voices. Now, I have the microphone, but it's not my voice against your voice. It's just me giving you guys the opportunity to be heard. And by the way, wherever this plays, I mean, like we'll get you to sign papers and all that stuff if you don't mind when you're answering questions or non-disclosure waivers, just so we can use your image and likeness on the show, not cutting it up to make you look any type of way. But when we have compelling debates or when we have people explaining their point of views to certain things, we want to put that out there in the air. That's positive. That's all. I mean, like Pine Bluff's perspective is something that I believe should be heard. So yeah, it's not. We don't have a good voice out there. I mean, we have people in the public space that are from Arkansas or from Pine Bluff, but that's kind of the fine print in their bio. You know, they're great people, wonderfully talented artists, but you know, if you're not from Chicago or Miami or LA or New York or one of these places, you're from a small town in the middle of Hobunk nowhere, you kind of keep that on the DL, right? But what we want to do is just put our voices out there to the masses. We want to make sure from coast to coast when people watch All the Things podcast presented by Euphonic Creations, they're going to see Pine Bluff. They're going to see our people. They're going to hear from our people as opposed to, just conjuring up these stereotypes about people from the South, whatever they are. Now, it used to be that your country dating your sister or drinking moonshine or I don't know what it used to be or what it is, but we're going to just confound those ideals with this segment. And it's going to be all you guys all the time, not just a little 5 minutes at the end of the podcast. It's an actual segment, and it's us speaking to you. I mean, you guys are reaching out to us, so it's us just basically making sure that your piece is going to be heard. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to send you out to our man on the street. Once again, his name is Sean Adams, and he's going to be stopping and talking to a lot of you guys, getting your opinions on certain things, pop culture and otherwise. And it's just the beginning. We're going to have so many of these shows, and each show we're going to have new people to talk to, new voices to hear, and I'm just super excited for that. But Sean's very good with that, and he's definitely going to walk us through a little bit of what he's doing out there during the next segment. But it is him actually just segueing into what brackets is going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at IG at Mendax the Poet. That's Mendax the Poet. That's MENDAXTHEPOET, one word. And on Facebook, Patrick W. Dockett. You can also go to the Euphonic Creations website, and you can find all of our social medias there. Definitely check out the website, euphoniccreations.com. You can basically watch, hear, and see all the comings and goings with all of us here under Euphonic Creations. It's an exciting time to be part of this company, guys. It's going places. It's has heart behind it, passion, truth. Just one of those things that you'd be proud to be a part of when you join something like this. But we're gonna go to Sean Adams out there and see what you guys have to say. All right, peace.
presented by Euphonic Creations. I am your field interviewer slash producer, Deshaun Adams. Ooh, best movie or Marvel movie if you have one.
I would say all the Thor movies because, Thor's just that guy.
All right, my best Marvel movie would probably been, well, I don't know if that's considered a Marvel movie. Was Deadpool considered a Marvel? Okay, Deadpool.
Okay.
I really love Deadpool. Now, probably a close second would be, I know most people would say the Avengers, but it wasn't even the Avengers, Guardian of the Galaxy.
Okay.
That to me is a close second.
Them both are good movies.
Yeah.
Civil War.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
Alright.
Which one?
The first one.
About
Spider-Man 2. With the
Yeah.
best Spider-Man in it.
I guess mine had to be Civil War, the Avengers Civil War.
I'm gonna have to say Black Panther.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Black Panther.
A lot of people like that movie. My mama liked that movie. What would you say your best album? Or one of your top albums?
Yeah, because I got a lot of top albums. Because a couple of Prince right off the bat. Prince 1999, and then Sign of the Times. Those two Prince albums were right there at the top. Then you could go with The Police, Synchronicity. That was a good one. I like Van Halen 5150. Also, man, wow, I got too many albums in different genres. So
Yeah, I can tell.
yeah, but just those right off the bat. Okay.
We're gonna do Monster by Future, cause that's Throwaway on there by Future, and it has Coding Crazy. Like old Future just hits different. I don't know, like it's more nostalgic. And I like old music. Like I listen to old music like it came out yesterday. Like I'm still not hip onto like the new artists. So like I might go to a party or whatever, or just be around my people and they might be putting on music that's like new and like lit, and I'm still delayed because I'm like, who is this? But yeah, let's hear another.
I got top three. Probably Ultra One by Kanye. His new album that just dropped. I will put probably.
It is a decent album.
I'll probably put A Whole Lot of Red by Playboy Cardi. And then my last one is probably For Your Eyes Only by J. Cole.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, so this is a mixtape. So, Lil Uzi Vert versus the World, Control by SZA. It's not one bad song on there.
No cap.
And,
Sis, if you see this, hit me up.
she gonna hit me up first. And Death Race for Love by Juice WRLD.
Anyways.
Mine
Okay.
was Mama's Gun by Erykah Badu.
Period.
Go on.
Okay, well I got three.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Round Big Steps by Kendrick Lamar.
We didn't hear it, but okay.
Huh? Well, okay.
Yeah, say
okay.
it slowly.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar.
Let him know.
Compton, okay.
Let him know.
Flower Boy by Tyler Creator. Then we got Co-World, The Sideline Story by Jermaine Cole. That's my baby dad.
Uh-oh.
He don't know you.
Why he always hating?
That's hard. Let me see. Okay, so I'm a musician. I play piano, so I'm gonna have to go with. It don't matter what genre, right?
Yeah, it don't matter what genre.
So I'm gonna have to go with Ty Tribbett. His first album. I forgot the name of it. Let me see. Next album I have to go with Usher. Confessions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
referring to
Like,
any genre of music.
Any genre.
Stevie Wonder, Love's in Need of Love Today, because it's so typical of his generation, which he's a little older than me, but it's really not an age limitation for love.
Led Zeppelin. Back in the day. Yeah.
I listen to them before.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm the type of person I like to listen to all types of music. I don't just listen to one thing. Next one is, what's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I'm gonna say. Does it matter if it's like comedy or?
It don't matter. It's just your opinion. What's your favorite?
Seinfeld.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It's a pretty good tight group, right?
Favorite TV show? I got a lot of them too. So if you want to do, let's see, if we was doing anime, I have to go with like Dragon Ball Z.
You know the creator just died.
I
too.
know, man. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, boy, Dragon Ball Z. Let me see, like a sitcom or something. I don't know. See, I was born in the '90s, so
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
yeah. But I'm gonna tell you what, this might be a shocker, but my favorite TV show, and it used to be on Disney Channel. And don't judge me. Smart Guy. You ever seen it?
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it with my brother. Yeah.
That's my favorite show, man. Yeah.
I seen that in Boy Meets World.
Yeah, man.
Very interesting.
My Little Pony and Strawberry Shortcake.
My Little Pony's crazy.
Not too
My
much.
Little Pony. The old
Y'all,
one
it's
or
a
the
good
new one?
storyline.
Well, for real.
The
Favorite
favorite
TV show.
shows,
Favorite
anime
TV show.
included.
Okay, I got another one. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
We have Bleach, it's anime, and then we got BoJack Horseman. Then we got Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Naturally.
And yeah, that's my three.
So I guess these are one of my favorites. So you said three, right? So I'll say Naruto, Vampire Diaries. Dang, this is hard. I just say another anime, Hunter x Hunter.
Ooh, period. Ooh, thank
Okay.
you for saying it right.
Yeah.
Right, like Nick.
Anyway, mine is SpongeBob. Watch it for hours. Old SpongeBob. 2014 and back. Death Note, that's anime. Naruto Shippuden. Dang, I had another one. Oh my, have y'all seen that?
I heard of it.
Yeah.
That shit fires. Oh my goodness. I got scared. It's so good though. I love it. And then Shameless. I know that's not three, but I have to get those.
Y'all seen Blood and Water?
Oh yeah, I seen Blood and Water.
I ain't seen it. I heard of it.
Yeah, it's real good. But I'm gonna take some of your shows because I just thought about it. Like just to add on to mine, I like Shameless too. And what else you say?
You.
And correction for earlier, I said Naruto.
Been on Netflix.
But
I thought so.
yeah, I said Naruto, but I meant Naruto Shippuden. You know, because it's a difference. You know, Naruto the first one. Then, so.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Oh yeah, you win.
What about you?
Oh, about me?
Yeah.
That's kind of hard. I'll probably say I got Boom. Ben 10.
Okay.
Danny Phantom.
Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I ain't gonna do straight cartoons. Stranger Things.
Oh. R.I.P. Bob.
Ooh, Insecure.
Yeah, RP.
Oh my god.
I like
Bob
Insecure
didn't
too.
deserve to go out like that. Go home. I can't.
Trying to think of another one.
He didn't deserve to die.
He was waving and all that.
He
Like,
was
bro.
right there. He stopped moving, and then them going to go get him. Like, you did that.
Favorite TV show.
being Mary Jane. You know, I love me some Pauletta. Really?
Favorite anime accounts too.
Oh, okay. Bleach.
Anybody else don't listen, like watch anime like me? Let me know.
The person I interviewed earlier said the same thing.
Like I really, like I just can't get into it. Like, well, I haven't started either, not gonna lie. But like, just from the outside looking in,
Gotta
You
watch
gotta
certain
pick something
ones.
you like.
Yeah. Do you like romance?
I do. I'm a hopeless romantic.
Then you have to watch romance.
Yeah, you gotta pick what you like.
Do they got
Men like strong
stuff?
things.
Oh, so they're falling in love?
Yeah, it's a lot of them. You fall in love, you get out of love, fall in love for somebody else.
That's toxic.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody get married.
People get married.
They get married,
Do they
and then
stay
somebody try to
married?
fight them.
Or action-based marriage.
It'd be a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It'd be a lot of
So many different animes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So many.
Favorite television show of all time? That's a good question. Favorite movie is easy because like I said, that would be Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I can watch that movie anytime it comes on, number of times. Television show or even series. Wow. If it's anime, it would be Bleach. I watch Bleach almost all the time. And right now, even a close second to Bleach would be Demon Slayer. I've go back and watch the reruns of that sometimes. But yeah, if it's anime, those are easy. Now, just regular movies, TV shows, I really couldn't tell you.
But next question is best movie adaptation.
Harry Potter.
Everything.
Stick beside it. Oh, Harry
Speak
Potter
up
in
if
all
you
the
hear
right
me.
places.
Oh yeah.
Everything. The Darkest Minds. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, you go, honey.
It.
Okay, mine is Hunger Games.
I like that.
Yeah, Katniss was a dog. Yeah.
It was.
R.P. the Roo. You know.
Oh my God, Peter. Okay. Peter.
What about
I can't do Peter.
the cartoon kind? You know, they had the little like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You know, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh.
The cartoon.
Dear Dumb Diary.
What was the one with Selena Gomez and B?
Selena. Oh, Cinderella.
No.
No.
It was.
Wizard of
No. It was the Big Sister and Little Sister. It's a book.
Oh, something with
And
bees.
Beezus.
Junie B. Jones?
No. That was good.
I know
That's
what
my
you're talking
answer
about.
then. Junie B. Jones.
Forrest Gump.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. May I ask why?
Well, he's an interesting character that, you know, he's always got something to say. And he's got a deep insight on life and stuff like that. Like, life is like a box of chocolates.
What's your best movie adaptation? Like book to movie?
I guess you have to say, what about Harry Potter?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You have any comments or anything you wanna say towards the camera?
Shout out to Euphonic Creations. Hey, the regulator won. That's my guy. And man, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. For real. Together. Y'all look me up, man.
My name is Deshaun Adams. You can also follow me at Sunshine4x_. I don't have a Facebook. But that's all we have for today. I would like to thank my guests that came and with the help with the video.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Yeah, wave towards the camera, give a nice little sign off.